Pittman, with your opening statement, please.
Having good. Got it now. Those southern manners get me every time. I always seem to get to go first. But thank everyone for coming out tonight. I appreciate this crowd. It shows the importance of our community and our leaders and how they are to this community. But as you know, I'm Brittany Pittman, and I'm completely committed to this community. As a mother and a lifelong citizen, I want to ensure that the future generations of this community prosper, and the decisions that we're making today affect their potential to flourish. I have a passion for volunteerism, as I actively serve on several nonprofit boards and committees throughout Northwest Georgia. The time for change in Maury County is now. Without change, we will continue to fall further behind. Currently, we're the second lowest state or county in the state as far as job loss. That has to stop. As we all know, our economy has been primarily dependent upon the carpet industry, but we're going to have to become more commercially and economically diverse in order to climb out of this recession and onto more stable economic ground. Maury County has a tremendous number of positive attributes and successes along with natural resources. It will be my job to purposely and pridefully promote those so we can capitalize on what our community has to offer. The budget needs to be reviewed and wasteful spending needs to be eliminated. I firmly believe in accountability and transparency, and that will start from the top. If I'm elected, county budgets and financial statements will be put online for all taxpayers to see exactly where their tax dollars are going. My background in business, management, and finance, along with my education, had prepared me to fill this role of Maury County Commissioner with integrity and enthusiasm.
Okay. How about? Okay, Mr. Hogan.
I'm Greg Hogan. I'm your current Commissioner of Maury County. I've lived here all my life. When I took office 10 months ago, I thought there'd be plenty of money there to do stuff with. But I quickly learned that we had $4.8 million of SPLOST debt. It's hard to do anything when that money's not there to do anything with. We have a Market Street plan. We've got a website. For all of y'all don't know, we have a website, a government website, and we post buildings, properties that you can go on there to buy. It shows business owners where those buildings are at. All you have to do is click on Maury County Government. We also have a volunteer Maury. You can get on there. If you want to have a volunteer come to your place, you can post that. Or if you want to volunteer, you can also post that. That will put you together. But you know, in the short time I've been in this office, I've done the best I could with what I had to do with, and I'm just asking you to vote for me again July 31st. Thank you.
Okay, Greg, if you please keep the microphone. You mentioned something about the SPLOST. Do you currently support the T-SPLOST, and if so, why? And if not, why not?
I can't openly say, yeah, you need to vote for this. No. I'll tell you what it will do. It will be a money generator for Maury County. We're not a donor county. What this T-SPLOST does for Maury County, currently we get about $370,000 a year from the state to help us pay. Okay? That's not much when it costs about $60,000 a mile to pave roads. With this current T-SPLOST that they're trying to pass, it will generate us $1.2 million a year. Okay? That's in discretionary funding. That money can be used however we see fit as long as it's used on infrastructure and roads. All this other money is put in a kitty. That's for the projects that is set up. It cannot be used for anything else but that project. Can't be wavered. This money doesn't go to Atlanta. It goes right here in this 15-county region that we're in. So it'd be a good thing for us, but that's up to the voters. Pass it or not pass it.
Brittany, same question.
I think there are both pros and cons to the T-SPLOST. I have some concerns because we were involved with the 15-county region, some of which those counties we have absolutely no similarities. We're involved with Paulding County. Paulding County is Metro Atlanta County. I have a concern that a lot of the money that would come out of our county, we won't see and we won't get back. I think that it would be good to be able to fund some of the projects, but as we all know, a lot of times when you have projects, they're over budget. What do you do then? I'm not a firm believer of the T-Splosh. I'm not necessarily against it, and I'm definitely not for a tax hike. It would take our sales tax from 7 to 8%. In an economy that's already struggling, if we take an additional 1% sales tax and tack it on, that's going to impede our competitiveness and our ability to go forward. We don't need another hurdle to go over. But at the end of the day, it's up to the voters and their decision. So please make an informed decision before you go to the polls on July the 31st and vote yes or no to the T-Splosh.
Okay, if you'll keep the microphone. I'll ask you both the same question that I asked the sheriff's candidates about the jail. This is a question that we have received from the public about 2 or 3 different times. So what would be your ideas for that?
The jail definitely needs to be evaluated. The taxpayers put $12 million into building this facility. It's sitting there vacant and deteriorating while it is. We need to look into possibly housing state or federal prisoners, see if we can break even by doing so, or if we can even get the response to be able to house those prisoners. If we can't break even, then we need to look at the facility and see what other uses we have for it. We don't need it to sit there and be vacant.
Greg?
Myself and Howard has sat down on 3 occasions. We've got staff analysis people that have met with me and him. We've got a number down, maybe kindly to where we can get it manageable. We're going to have to see what kind of budget we can come up with. You got federal guidelines that you've got to go by. You can't open a jail and house state prisoners in it unless it's open. You can't say I'm going to open it and they can't open it. It's got to be open and operating before you can house state prisoners or federal prisoners in this facility. And we're working, trying to find a way to open this jail up. But it's just, it's a tough economic time. And you're talking about 12 more employees. It's hard to come up with money and insurance and all that to fund that.
Greg, what would you say would be your the main issue right now in the county, or something that you feel that you have done that has been an accomplishment, your greatest accomplishment right now?
Well, my greatest accomplishment, I guess, is I've kept my word on having an open door policy. You come to my office, you can walk in my office because nobody else is in there. You can sit down and I'll talk to you and we'll try to fix your problem. I have gotten grants for the transit buses. We've got 3 transit buses. I've got a LMIG grant, that's $370,000 a year for payment. But what we have done, we're trying to get this SPLOST debt, and it should be paid off by September. I've reallocated some of the money that we're going to have a little left. We're going to try to pay 15 miles this year instead of the 4 that we paid in the last 4 years per year. It's nice to have all these facilities, but at the end of the day, when you can't get your car to them, what's the use of having it?
Okay, Brittany, Greg just answered the question of what his greatest accomplishment was as the commissioner. What do you feel are the main changes that need to be made if you're elected commissioner?
I feel that my background being in business, management, finance, with the current economic conditions that we're facing, the budget needs to be evaluated. We're currently facing a possible deficit between $500,000 and $600,000 by the end of the year. The county is more than likely going to be forced to take out a tax anticipation loan to cover its expenses. This will be the first time since 2005 that the county's had to do this. In these times that we're facing, we need someone who has a strong financial background so we can balance the budget and be able to still serve the county to the level in which it needs to be served.
Okay. what sets you apart from your opponent? And I'll start with Brittany and I'll go to Greg.
I think that goes back to the very similar answer I just gave. In the current financial conditions that our county is facing, we need someone that has a strong financial background, who has the education to move this county forward, get out of our complacency. If we don't, our county's not going to be viable in 10 years. This is the county that I want my kids to come back to after they graduate from college. But we're going to have to make some changes if there's going to be anything for them to come back to.
Greg, what sets you apart from your opponent?
I've got government experience from where I was the mayor of Eton for 4 years. I've got on-hand experience. I've been in this office for a little over 10 months, and I think I've done a pretty good job of what I come into and inherited. You know, we probably wouldn't have to borrow money if I borrowed against the SPOS. Again, but I'm not going to do that. I'm trying to get us out of debt. But sure, we're going to have to borrow money. We're going to have to borrow money, but I'm trying to extend that as long as I can extend it. I don't want to have to go up on property tax, but I can sit here and tell you that next year they may not happen. But I'd like to at least have it back in some form or another to where it was whenever Jim Welch was here. Jim Welch lowered his millage rate, cost the county $500,000. When I beat Jim Welch in 08, he lowered the millage rate. So sure, I mean, you know, money's there if you want to tax it to people to death.
What are you doing currently, and what are your goals to increase revenue other than raising taxes if you didn't have to do that?
This is it's not just a me. This is a joint effort with all departments, all personnel that work for the county. This is something that you have to scrape and scrounge and watch every dime you save. If you go out here and buy a lawnmower that costs $50,000, you get the same lawnmower down the street for $25,000. We're going to buy the lawnmower down the street. But I'm proud of the people that work for the county that saving all they can save. And that's a big help. But we're still looking at budget cuts. We're just going to have to cut. I don't like furloughing people. I don't. But didn't have any choice.
Ms. Pittman, what are your plans to increase revenue without raising taxes if it can be done?
I think we need to be very forward-thinking when thinking of raising revenue. We need to look around and see some of the natural amenities that our community has to offer. We have Cohutta Wilderness, which is the largest its size this side of the Mississippi. We have Fort Mountain State Park, which is one of the largest, most highly traveled state parks in this area. We need to capitalize on those people that are coming to this area. Look at possibly tapping into some of the grants to vitalize some of the areas for possible bike paths. Think outside the box. We have to, when we're making decisions today, we have to think 10 years down the road, how this is going to affect our community and our future.
Okay, we're going to get into some critical areas now, and both the Commissioner and Ms. Pittman are aware of these critical areas. We will go ahead and address those now. Ms. Pittman, you have been, I don't want to say criticized, but you have, I will say criticized, for being young and being a female in the area that, how would you like to address that? That's touchy, but.
Okay, I have been criticized. I've heard that openly. You might as well go ahead and throw being a mother in there too, because I've heard that as well.
Yeah, let me add to that people have. You have heard the criticisms of can you operate your family and the county as well?
I have always had a very demanding job. I've always balanced it along with various volunteer opportunities that I've taken in the community and my family time. That's never been an issue, and it won't be an issue now. In my past experiences, I've always been proven to be an effectual leader within the companies that I've worked. I've developed multi-million-dollar budgets. I've managed large numbers of employees. I've helped small businesses design their business plans to help them move forward. I may be young, but I've done a lot in the time that I have, the career that I've had.
I want to double up on you a little bit here.
And the female. Let me address the female. I think we're in the 20th century. I don't think that we're back in the time.
21st century.
21st century, sorry. But even in the 20th century, we've still surpassed that. The woman's place is no longer in the kitchen. There are many women that work today, most of which work. This economy forces women to work. There are many women that are in leadership roles. If you look at Xerox, their CEO, I believe her name is Ursula Burns. I looked her up today. She is a mother. She is the CEO of a company that produces over $22 billion in revenue each year. She does it fine. I think I can handle this budget.
Okay, I'm going to double up on you a little bit here. Also, you have been criticized because of your husband's position. How would you like to address that?
Yes, my husband does work for the county. He is the recreation director. And I want to assure you that nepotism will not be an issue and it won't be a conflict of interest. Each department has their own directives, budgets, and policies collaborated for that individual department's specific needs. There's also a recreation board in place to oversee any changes to policy that could take place. Currently, according to Murray County organizational chart, the recreation director does not report to the county commissioner, and that will not change.
Okay, Mr. Hogan. Two of the criticisms that are aimed at you are the hiring of a new road department head and keeping of the old one in, not in that position, but in that area, in that department as well. How would you like to address that?
Okay, I did. I hired a new director at the road department. I felt like we were not getting the bang for our buck. I felt like as a taxpayer that I don't think our tractors need to come in at 2 o'clock in the day. I think they need to mow to at least 3:30, and that wasn't happening. And I gave the ex-director an opportunity to retire, be demoted. I demoted him, and I think you will see today what's being done in the county. The work has picked up. The guys get out every day on time. They're out of that shop over there by 7:45. And but yeah, I did hire him, and kept up. And I'll tell you why I kept up. He's been there 30-something years. He knows a lot about the machinery. He knows a lot about where things are at. And that's why I kept him. He's retirement age. He's 67, 68 years old. And if he wants to retire, he's got no problem retiring. But I did keep him, but he took a big pay cut.
Okay, we'll double up on you too. You were also criticized for a statement that either was misconceived or that you did make, and I'm going to give you a chance now to address that, about the hiring of 2 gentlemen that were mentioned, both Jack Reed and Michael Sanford. Mike Sanford as the economic developer. So, would you address that, please?
Now, what did you say about Jack Reed?
No, they said in the previous election that you were asked if you would hire either Jack Reed or Michael Sanford, and you said you would not.
Well, I don't remember that. No, I wasn't hired Jack.
Okay.
But, you know, I did. I hired Michael, and I'll tell you the reason I've done that. We've got a big box store. They've been talking to him for a while. And, you know, we tried to work with the chamber and work something out. This Market Street plan, if we put it in place to hire a economic development director and all these other positions you're looking at, that's $275,000 a year. We're paying $12,000 a year. And that is coming out of the hotel motel tax. It's not coming out of the general fund budget. And that is a contract job. That's no benefits, no anything. I feel that doing something with economic development is better than just sitting stagnant and doing nothing.
Okay. I'll give you guys a chance to answer this question, both of you, and I'll start with you, Greg. Are there any misconceptions about you or the office that has been said that you would like to clear up?
I'd like to know where all that money is that I'm paying all these candidates to run. That just blows my mind. I've got a race, right here's the race I'm worried about. I'm not worried about anybody else's race. I have to work every day. I can't come to your house every day and stick a sign in your yard because I have to work. But I'll tell you one thing. I have not, and I will not, pay anybody qualifying fee or whatever. I can't worry about anybody other than myself. I found out when you get in office, people don't give you money like they did when you're trying to get in office. They think you make enough money that you should be able to fund your campaign. Well, old buddy right here has to fund his campaign most of it. So, but anyway, that's my answer.
Brittany, are there any misconceptions about you that you would like to clear up?
I've heard a lot of different things, you know how the rumor mill is in this community. Unfortunately, you hear a lot. I've heard that I have an online degree and that's not competitive in this market. I do not have an online degree. Although I received my degree from Central Michigan University, I traveled to Chattanooga. They flew the professors in and I went every weekend for 2 years to get that degree. It was a lot of hard work, it was a lot of dedication. I had no social life, but I did it. And I think that it would help me to lead this county forward. There's been misconceptions about potential people or families backing me. I've heard that the Reeds are backing me. They're not backing me. They have their own candidate in this race and someone who's running on the Democratic ticket. There's no physical way they can support me or entitle me to money, and I'm not taking any. I've heard rumors that I will support the landfill if I am elected. The landfill that has been discussed back in 2002 that did not happen. I have spoken with previous county commissioners, and if elected, I will uphold their judgment and will not enforce the landfill.
Why should I go to the voting booth and pull the lever or push the button for Brittany Pittman?
I think at the end of the day, when you're trying to decide who to vote for, you need to truly look at the qualifications of each of the candidates. Make your decisions not based on who your neighbor is, who your friends are, or who you went to school with. Look at what really matters. Look at their career, look at their education, and look at what you think that they can do for this community. It's time we break out of this bubble. All the surrounding counties have far surpassed what we have done here in Murray County. We do have a unique heritage, and I think we need to preserve that, but at the same time, we have to move forward or we're going to be left behind.
Mr. Hogan, why should I re-elect Greg Hogan?
Because I am moving this county forward. I've got a good relationship with people in Atlanta. Money's just tight. Money's just tight all over. And there's a few grants out there, but a lot of these grants are 50% match. If you get a grant for $1 million, you've got to have $500,000 to get the grant. I am so frugal with y'all's money. It's y'all's money. I don't spend it if we don't have it. But I'll tell you this, I'll be a good steward with your money. Come to my office anytime. I'll come out to your house. I'll see what your problem is. She is a smart woman. I don't consider myself dumb, but just with on-hand experience, with government experience I've had, I think, you know, I should earn your vote, July 31st.
Okay, Brittany, Greg has been in office for, is it 10 months, Greg? About 10 and a half months. Do you think that that's enough time for him to be able to do what he wants to do?
I think when he was running for the office, as we all were, we knew what the time frame was, and we knew how long we would be in office before we had to run for re-election.
Greg?
Same question.
Well,
Better hurry, Trannon. You told me to stay me over at 8 o'clock.
okay.
Everybody's hungry.
You throw my mind here for a minute. In the 10 months that you've been commissioner, why do you think, why are you going to seek to run again? And have you accomplished anything within 10 months that you didn't feel that you were able to accomplish?
reason I'm running again is because I love my county. If you don't love your county, let me tell you something. I have people come in my office that absolutely will talk to you like a dog, and you just say, yes, sir, yes, ma'am, to a certain point. And then, you know, but I try to treat everybody like I want to be treated. And I want to make sure that citizens of Murray County are treated equally and fairly and get what, if you got a problem or whatever, I want to be sure that that is addressed. But yeah, you've got to really love your county to do this job.
Okay, we'll end with that note. I want you to give your closing statement, and then Ms. Pittman.
Like I say, I've not been here long. I think I've done a lot of what I've had to do with. I try to do the right thing. I try to do right by everybody that's got problems, that needs help. I don't show favoritism when it comes to doing your road work. If you've got a problem with a driveway tile, you call me or call the road department, and we'll see that it's fixed. It don't matter if your name is Donald Cantrell or Jim Beaver. I mean, it don't matter to us. We're there to do a job and do it as good and as well as we can. What we've got to do with, like I say, I just love the county. That's why I'm running again.
Ms. Pittman.
I understand that this job will not be easy. Change will not happen overnight or without sacrifice, hard work, and perseverance. Congressman Tom Graves often references a lesson that his parents instilled in him. Dream big, work hard, and achieve much. That's what we need to do as we come together as a community. One person can't do it alone, but as a community, to get this county going in a more positive and productive direction. In tough economic times when family budgets are being scaled back, county budgets are being scaled back, you need someone that has a strong financial background, who isn't afraid to make difficult decisions and hold the taxpayers' money and resources at the highest level and use it in the most effective and efficient way possible. And that's exactly what I would bring to the table. I would appreciate your consideration to be your next Murray County Commissioner.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us. Thank you,